You step outside for some fresh air. It's a quiet morning in your peaceful suburban neighborhood. Birds chirping, lawns neatly trimmed. But there they are, again, your neighbor, standing on the porch, phone in hand, pretending to water a plant that's already drenched from yesterday's rain. You smile politely, but inside, a chill runs down your spine. It's the fourth time this week you've bumped into them at odd hours. Coincidence? Maybe, or maybe not. What if I told you that strange, uneasy feeling isn't paranoia, it's perception? A signal from your subconscious telling you that someone isn't just nosy. They're watching, studying, collecting data, not to know you better, but to control the space you call home. We often think danger comes loud, with yelling, threats, or conflict. But the most unnerving threats move quietly, like fog creeping in under a closed door. They come in the form of questions that seem too specific. Cameras angled just a little too far into your yard. A neighbor who somehow knows where you're going before you've even left. And here's the Stoic truth. You can't control the actions of others, but you can control how prepared you are to respond. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." This video isn't about stirring fear. It's about awakening clarity, about noticing what you've been trained to overlook, and reclaiming your inner peace in a world where even your backyard may not be private. Through real-life stories and psychological insight, we'll uncover the 5 signs that your neighbor isn't just curious. They're crossing the line. You'll learn how to spot the patterns, how to protect yourself, and most importantly, how to stay grounded, because no one should lose their peace just because they opened their front door. So if you've ever felt that someone was watching when no one was supposed to be there, don't ignore that instinct. It may be the wisest part of you trying to get your attention. Stay with me, because what we're about to explore could change how you see your surroundings, and maybe even save your sense of safety altogether. Sign number 1, the suspicious coincidence that keeps happening. At first, it feels like nothing, a strange coincidence. You step out to take out the trash, and there they are again, standing by the mailbox. 3rd time this week. You brush it off. Maybe they just have great timing. But the next day, you head to the grocery store, and they're there too. Same aisle, same time. Then at the gym. Then at your favorite coffee shop. Again and again. Coincidence has a rhythm, a randomness that feels, well, random. But when these encounters become predictably unpredictable, something deeper is at play. You're not imagining it. You're being watched. This is the first and often most overlooked sign. They appear too often, too conveniently. A nosy neighbor becomes a silent observer. They study your patterns, not with binoculars, but with presence, with consistency. They're not waving, they're not chatting, they're just there, like background noise that never quite goes away. In Stoic philosophy, Epictetus taught us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The Stoic response here is not panic, it's awareness. It's vigilance without fear, calm without naivety. So what should you do? Disrupt the pattern, vary your schedule, take a different route to work, leave 10 minutes earlier or later, use a different entrance. If their appearances still sync up with yours, it's no longer in the realm of chance, it's design. Track the data, keep a log, write down the time, location, and behavior. It may seem excessive, but even Marcus Aurelius journaled his thoughts every day to understand the truth more clearly. You're not being paranoid, you're collecting truth. Because once you see the pattern in writing, the fog lifts. Use your tools, install a doorbell cam, or reposition your security camera to catch unusual movements. These aren't just digital eyes, they're your neutral observers helping you confirm what your instincts already suspect. Because here's the truth, no one wants to say out loud. Some people don't want to hurt you, they just want to know everything. And that alone is a violation. In modern life, privacy is peace. And when someone keeps showing up in your rhythm like a shadow you never invited, you owe it to yourself to step back, reassess, and reclaim the space they've quietly intruded upon. Trust your gut, and more importantly, take notes. Sign number 2, digitalize and the quiet war of technology. You step onto your porch and stretch, thinking it's just another morning, but then you notice it. That small, glossy lens perched on your neighbor's second-floor window. It looks like a security camera, but something feels off. It's not pointing at their door. It's angled directly at yours. In the age of smart homes and wireless everything, the new battleground of privacy isn't just your fence line. It's invisible. It's digital. And this is where things turn from uncomfortable to truly concerning. When a neighbor is watching you, they don't need to peek over the hedge anymore. They let the machines do the work. This is the second sign. Technological surveillance disguised as home security. A camera that mysteriously faces your living room window. A strange bird-watching device that somehow always has a clear line of sight into your backyard. Or perhaps more unsettling, a new Wi-Fi network, with a name that appears only when you're home, one you never recognized, one that makes your phone battery drain unusually fast when connected. It's not science fiction. It's happening more than you think. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." But in today's world, freedom also means mastering your digital space. If you're not in control of your tech environment, someone else might be. So what can you do? Start with observation. Walk around your property. Look at the placement of cameras. Are they reasonable? Are they watching public space or peering into your windows? Document everything. Next, protect your smart devices. Change default passwords on your routers, doorbells, and smart assistants. Update firmware regularly. These tiny tasks are your frontline defense against subtle intrusions. Use a VPN to shield your data from sniffing attempts. Turn off unused Bluetooth connections. Scan your network for unknown devices. If something doesn't look right, trust that instinct. And don't underestimate the psychological toll of this kind of monitoring. Knowing someone might be watching your most mundane moments, your morning coffee, your late-night reading, can quietly erode your peace of mind. That's why it's essential to act. Not out of fear, but out of strength. Because Stoicism isn't about ignoring threats, it's about responding wisely. And in the digital age, wisdom means knowing when a camera isn't just for security, and when a neighbor isn't just being extra careful. Your home is sacred. So is your data. Protect both. Sign number 3. They know too much and you never told them. There's a special kind of unease that creeps in when someone speaks your truth before you've ever spoken it. It starts small. A neighbor waves and asks, "So, how's your back doing since that chiropractor visit?" You pause, because you never mentioned that appointment. Not in person, not online. Only over the phone, inside your house, alone. Then they mention the color of the shoes you ordered, before the package even hit your doorstep. Or casually ask how your sister's adjusting to her new job in Denver, something you only shared with family. Coincidences don't stack like that. And when someone starts echoing pieces of your life that you never handed them, it's no longer curiosity. It's a breach. Seneca taught that privacy is the freedom of the soul. In today's world, your privacy is your power. And when someone penetrates that, your peace begins to bleed. The Stoics understood that not all attacks are physical. Some come cloaked in politeness, disguised as interest, but seeded with manipulation. When someone knows your habits, your whereabouts, and even your emotions, without your consent, they're not neighbors. They're spectators, sometimes even strategists. So how do you reclaim your ground? First, Set a trap. Mention something deliberately false. A vacation to Hawaii, a new job you never took. If that innocent neighbor brings it up later, you'll know the truth. They're not overhearing, they're observing. Second, shrink the window into your world. Lock down your social media. Use alias names for delivery apps. Be deliberate about who gets to hear what. Remember, boundaries aren't rude, they're wise. Third, take control of the soundscape. Sound travels further than you think. So does Wi-Fi. Run a scan of unknown networks. Place ambient noise near thin walls. Turn every conversation into something that ends where your walls do. This isn't about becoming paranoid. It's about being precise. Stoicism is not passivity, it's mastery. Mastery of what enters your mind, what exits your mouth, and who earns access to your world. Because when someone knows more about your life than they should, it's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to respond. Guard your inner world like it's sacred. Because in the end, your peace doesn't survive by accident, it survives by intention. Sign number 4. Subtle shifts, silent violations. When objects speak louder than words. You come home one evening tired but glad to be back. Everything looks normal, until it doesn't. The welcome mat is slightly off from where you always keep it. The blinds, which you left half drawn, are now open just a crack wider. Your package, supposed to be placed under the porch table, is out in the open, as if someone examined it and put it back in a hurry. It seems small, insignificant even. But something in your chest tightens. Something feels wrong. This is not just your imagination playing tricks. This is the 4th unmistakable sign. There is physical evidence that someone has been watching, or worse, trespassing on your space. We often think intrusion requires broken locks or shattered windows, but those who watch you closely don't need brute force. They operate in whispers, in subtle movements, in the quiet rearrangement of your everyday world. And when you live in a neighborhood where everyone is friendly, it's easy to dismiss these things as forgetfulness or coincidence. But Stoic wisdom urges us to observe reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." When your personal boundaries are tested, you are being given that chance. To prove your clarity, to prove your self-respect. So what can you do? Begin with the little things. Place a small piece of clear tape across your doorframe. Slip a folded paper in your door jamb. Turn an item at a subtle angle. Something only you would notice. These are your sentinels. If they move, you know. Document everything, every change, every anomaly. Take photos. Keep dates. Don't rely on memory alone. Truth becomes clearer when written down. And trust your gut. If your instincts whisper that something is off, don't silence them with politeness. Courage is not always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet decision to pay attention. Because when someone dares to tamper with your home, they are not just touching your belongings. They are encroaching on your autonomy, your mental peace, your sacred space. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And nothing clouds your thoughts faster than the feeling that your home is no longer yours. Stay watchful, stay rational, but above all, stay sovereign. Your home is your citadel, and even the smallest violation deserves your full awareness. Sign 5. When curiosity becomes obsession, and you become the target. At first, they seemed like just another overly friendly neighbor. A few casual questions, some oddly timed greetings, a small gift just because. But then you began to notice their presence no longer felt neighborly. It started to feel like a shadow, constant, silent, and a little too close. They know when you come home, even though you've never told them your schedule. They appear right as you step outside, as if waiting. They bring up things no one else knows, something you mentioned on the phone, or a decision you haven't shared with anyone. At first, you brushed it off, but now, it feels different. It feels intentional, and worse, it feels invasive. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. But when your peace is disrupted inside your own home, when someone else's obsession begins to dictate your sense of safety, it's not just philosophy, it's personal. At this point, their behavior has crossed a line. It's no longer curiosity, it's control. They may try to isolate you, subtly turning others against you. They might leave gifts at your doorstep that suggest they've been listening. They may even show up in places where you've never told them you'd be. This is no longer coincidence. This is calculated, and it's dangerous. So what do? You act. Calmly but firmly. Begin documenting every encounter, every strange event. Keep a log, times, dates, details. Don't keep it to yourself. Talk to your family, close friends, people you trust. Let them know what's happening. And if the signs intensify, do not hesitate to involve the law. There are boundaries that should never be crossed, and this is one of them. Seneca once wrote, "No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have." You don't owe anyone access to your life, especially not someone who tries to take it without your consent. What you deserve is the right to feel safe, to breathe deeply at home, to close your door without fear. Your instincts are whispering for a reason. Listen to them, trust them, and above all, protect your peace. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Let's be honest, most of us want to believe the best in people, especially those who live closest to us. We chalk up strange encounters to coincidence, unsettling behavior to maybe they're just being friendly. We silence our instincts with politeness and ignore red flags because the truth feels too uncomfortable to face. But in the quiet teachings of Stoic philosophy, there is a powerful reminder. If you are disturbed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke. Marcus Aurelius. When your peace is disturbed by a neighbor who watches too closely, listens too intently, or intrudes too far, it is not just a matter of discomfort. It is a matter of boundaries, of safety, of reclaiming the sovereignty over your life, your mind, and your space. This video has walked you through 5 signs that your neighbor isn't just nosy, they're monitoring you. From repeated coincidences that strain belief to invasive technology to a disturbing level of personal knowledge, each sign chips away at your privacy, your autonomy, and eventually, your sense of peace. But you are not powerless. The core lesson here isn't about fear, it's about awareness. And more than that, it's about mastery. Stoicism doesn't ask you to be paranoid, it calls you to be present, alert, anchored in truth, not illusion. In the modern world, privacy is no longer a given, it's something we must cultivate. Like tending a garden, it requires intention, vigilance, and boundaries. Your home should be your sanctuary, not a stage for someone else's obsession. So take action, not with rage, not with chaos, but with clarity. Keep records, set boundaries, protect your digital and physical space, seek support when needed. Speak up, not in panic, but in poise. Because Stoicism reminds us, you cannot control what others do, but you can always control what you tolerate, how you respond, and what you choose to protect. You deserve to live with peace of mind, to walk out your front door without scanning the street in anxiety, to share your thoughts without wondering who's listening. to sleep without fear of eyes peering through your windows, real or imagined. And most of all, you deserve to live not in reaction to fear, but in alignment with wisdom. If this video has given you even a glimmer of insight, a moment of clarity, or the courage to take that first step toward protecting your peace, then it has done its job. Let this be your call to awareness. Not alarm, but awakening. You are not helpless, you are not alone, and you are absolutely entitled to freedom, dignity, and peace. Now own it